Hello and welcome. I'm Damon Bruce. Good to have you along for the NBA here on 2K Sports. Wednesday in the NBA. It'll be Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns facing off against Devin Harris and the Utah Jazz. And now it's time to get out to the action with Kevin Harlan and our 2K Sports crew. We'll be back later with the HP Halftime Report.
The NBA on 2K Sports welcomes you to Wednesday afternoon basketball. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Now we've got a chance for our State Farm starting lineups. First for the Suns, Nash runs the point with Dudley at the 2. And they've got Marcin Gortat out there, the big man at the center. They look to him to provide that necessary presence down low. That's Hill, and it's Fry in at the 4 spot. And for the Jazz, Devin Harris is out there with Bell. And filling the paint, it's the big man, Al Jefferson. He is such an asset to this team. They love what he brings every night. And it's Andre Kirilenko, and it's Millsap in at the power forward.
Well, it was a tough season a year ago for Utah. And, one of their hallmarks in their history of their franchise has been their ability to dominate their home floor. That wasn't the case a year ago. They played 500 ball at Energy Solutions Arena.
And it's the Suns to start out. Nash with it. Devin Harris covering. Gortat with a screen on Jefferson. And here's Nash outside. Gets it to go. Nash has got the game going here with the first basket for the Suns. He was talking about the Utah Jazz and playing up in Salt Lake City in a very loud arena. I always thought that some players would get overwhelmed in certain arenas because of the noise and the emotion. That was one of the buildings.
Yeah, that was a really good. Good building because the fans come out in big numbers and are ready to get behind and support that Utah Jazz team.
Just a total lack of focus, was not paying attention to where he was.
Here's Nash. Now we're going to get a chance to check in with Doris Burke, who had a talk moments ago with head coach Ty Corbett. Doris?
Yes, closing out on shooters and contesting shots is something they talked about over and over in their pregame rundown. He said half of the battle when facing an offense like this is just bothering them when they pull up to shoot, and that every little bit helps and hopefully will wear them down. Consistency, guys, is the key to this defense.
All right, Doris, they're probably, Clark, well aware of the firepower they're up against.
Well, Kevin and Steve, you always have to be aware of that when you're facing these guys.
Yeah, no question. If you're not prepared right from the outset, then this team will punch you in the mouth and get off to a big lead early. So they've got to be up to the task defensively. That was just a perfect feed there.
Here's Harris. About 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Jared Dudley's never been the most athletic player on the floor, but he's got a sense of humor about it. The 6'7" swingman made a pledge to get at least 10 dunks last season and finally reached his mark with 3 games left.
And Paul Millsap, the bucket on the assist by Kirilenko.
Well, no defense there. He just takes the ball right to the rim.
Now Nash, Devin Harris covering. And here's Nash. Shot clock at 6. Guarded by Harris. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Clark, you brought up Jared Dudley. He has become a fan favorite in Phoenix, not just for his sense of humor, but Steve, also for his consistent work ethic.
Yeah, Suns gave him a 5-year extension last season. And part of that was his all-around play, a high-energy player, a good three-point shooter. And part of it was just what he means to the team, chemistry-wise, a great teammate.
One of the things I love about Steve Nash, although he is right-handed, he loves to use that little pull-up jumper he has when he's going to his left. He's pretty ambidextrous, and I think that goes back to all of the time he spent playing soccer. He's equally balanced on both sides of his body, and I see that with a lot of soccer players.
Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line. That's a great point you talk about in that pull-up jumper of Nash and being able to go either way, use either hand. Steve, he can He can pick teams apart with that.
Well, he can do whatever he wants on the floor, Kevin. And what I like best about him is that he just reads the situation each game. And if his team needs him to score, he'll score. If not, he'll distribute. But he's so skilled. There's not anything that he can't do on the floor. Yeah, he's always going to pull the trigger when you give him that kind of look.
The Suns leading. Now, here's Childress. Feeds to Dudley. Nash, the pass to Fry. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assist. Fry's got his first 3 points of the game. The Jazz on offense, trailing by 4.
You know, the Suns have had a rep as a run-and-gun team, but last season they didn't run all that much. In fact, they were in the bottom half of the league in fast break points.
Outside Millsap. 5 on the clock. Here's Kirilenko, and Utah again with the bucket. Before going back to the Phoenix Suns, they may not have run so much last season, but they certainly did gun. Steve, they love to fire the shot.
Yeah, they were third in the NBA in three-pointers attempted, fourth best in percentage. You know, losing Stoudemire and Sean Marion a few years ago, this is not the same athletic team that it once was. So they really rely much more heavily on the outside shot.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix.
You know, guys, you think back to a team like the Suns. They had a terrific shot at winning the championship just a few short seasons ago, and it doesn't seem like they're in real contention right now going forward.
Al Jefferson's checked in for the Jazz. C.J. Miles comes in for Raja Bell. Vince Carter, he's checked in for the Suns. Brooks comes in for Steve Nash. Here's Brooks. Devin Harris covering. Brooks kicks to Carter. Now, here's Childress, defended by Jefferson. Shot clock at 5. From past the arc. And again, it's the Suns missing. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, they need to play it smart. Make sure you get a good shot first, and then maybe a second possession.
There's the screen. Harris against Brooks. Harris dishes to Miles. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket. Fry with the ball. Wing shot on the way. A nice shot by Carter.
How pretty was that from Carter?
He gets it up. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. The Suns on top, up by 4.
Yeah, this team is on the same page, no question. They're right where they need to be offensively.
And they're hitting their scores with on-time and on-target passes, too. That's fun to watch.
It's more NBA coming your way. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Here is Watson. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Watson kicks to Miles. Three-pointer. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist. Miles has got the opening field goal of the second quarter for the Jazz. Here is Brooks looking for his first bucket of the game. 6 on the shot clock. He's covered by Watson. Brooks, the pump fake, kept the D off balance and gave him room. Brooks has got his first basket.
Kind of a strange season for Aaron Brooks last year, guys. He was unhappy when Houston didn't give him a contract extension, so the Rockets eventually traded him to Phoenix for Goran Dragic.
Here is Watson. Brooks covering. Watson, the pass to Bell. Over Carter, and Utah again with the bucket.
You know, Steve, when you talk about Aaron Brooks, and every point you made is a good one, it wasn't really the best of fits for him, and I think here in Phoenix, it has been a nice fit. He's got speed and shooting ability, and he can definitely play an up-tempo game, and that's Phoenix's style.
Lopez, a screen on Jefferson. Shoots off the step back, and the Suns tack on 2 more.
You know, that's a solid shot right there, Kevin. I mean, he's one of the better low-post finishers we'll see.
Lopez is there. Shots good by Jefferson.
Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
Here comes Aaron Brooks.
A major front court overhaul for Utah last season with Carlos Boozer leaving for Chicago as a free agent. Kerr was injured most of the year. So it was up to Al Jefferson and Paul Millsap to really come through on the front line.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, Kevin, as you know, the Utah Jazz are in a rare rebuilding stage. This has been one of the most consistently successful franchises in the entire NBA. But perhaps they lucked out, and their growth will be accelerated as they landed the number 3 pick in the draft. They also have a top 12 pick. So this infusion of youth should have the Jazz back up and running in a short period of time. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. A lot of new faces in Utah these days.
Well, I admire the job Kevin O'Connor did, guys, because he's infused this young Jazz team with talent, and he knew he had to. He couldn't afford to lose Darren Williams and get nothing in return, so he made the best of the situation, and now they've got a lot of good, young, talented players on this roster.
And the Suns call time here. Back to what you said, Steve, about the Jazz. They do have a lot of guys up front that can score. Clark, you played on the front line in the NBA. You know how important that is, and you probably have an appreciation for these guys that the Jazz have up front.
No question, Kevin. I mean, Al Jefferson and Paul Millsap, and then if Mehmet Okur can get healthy, he gives them a dimension with his ability to stretch the defense outside, shooting the ball. And then on the bench, they've even got some guys that can put the ball in the basket pretty well.
For the Jazz, Derek Favors checked in for Millsap. Kirilenko comes in for Raja Bell. Devin Harris subbed in for Earl Watson. Then for the Suns, Gortat's checked in for Lopez. Fry comes in for Hakeem Ward. And it's Nash in for Aaron Brooks. Here is Gortat. Takes it up for the stuff.
Perfect inbounds play there. You couldn't have drawn it up any better.
Here's Harris, still looking to get on the scoreboard.
Well, Gortat was a really nice pickup for the Suns. He was a backup to Dwight Howard in Orlando. Never really got the minutes that he deserved, and the Suns gave him that opportunity, and he made the most of it.
And the shot is good. There's 1:38 left to play here in the second quarter. Harris knocks it loose, and he's able to get it back. The second chance effort, Nash. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. They get Devin Harris.
Got just enough of him on the way out to draw that whistle.
I thought that was a good call, Steve. I mean, you could see how that affected his shot just a little bit.
And Gortat has really given the Suns that presence they so desperately needed in the paint. He's been just what the doctor ordered for the Phoenix Ball Club.
Well, I love his size. He's got a big body. He's active. He's an excellent offensive rebounder, Kevin. And he's not a bad finisher around the rim. So he's shown that he's a starting caliber center, although I think his best role is maybe as a reserve. I just think he brings that element that's special when you're of his talent, when you can come off the bench.
Gortat, the former backup to Dwight Howard over in Orlando before the trade to Phoenix.
Well, last season, the Suns' road record dipped well below 500, 17 and 24. And that's one of the reasons they were on the outside looking in when it came to playoff time. I think their only hope now, Clark, is to slow them down with a double team.
Well, they got to stop the bleeding, put the tourniquet on, and she's been tough to play straight up.
And here's Fry for 3, and the shot is good. Fry's got 6. Steve, that's your old team, the Suns. They could put on a show, certainly. They always have with Nash. But Clark, they couldn't get enough wins on the road, 17 and 24, as Steve just said.
Yeah, well, that may have been part of it, too. I mean, those high-scoring games tend to get the crowd engaged, and that gives the home team life. I mean, when you're an up-and-down team, you're giving the other team possessions as well. And when you're not really strong defensively, then that creates opportunities to not be able to finish games or close out opponents. And I think the Suns struggled at the defensive end of the floor at times. 6 points in short order, 2 straight from deep. That's what can happen with the 3 ball.
Yep, they've got it going. Nice, clean looks.
Favors in the post, guarded by Fry. Jefferson kicks to Harris. Clock at 6. A leaner. Banks that one in. Harris has got his second basket. Here is Nash. Got it up. And he knocks it down.
Ooh-wee, Kevin. That was a big shot to extend their lead and send them into halftime with momentum.
It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City.
And they played a great 2 quarters out at Energy Solutions Arena, and a great game in progress for our HP halftime show. The Suns are off to a good start. They've been airtight with their defensive rebounding, no second chance looks. A sensational first half for Steve Nash, and Vince Carter's also been getting it done for them. And for the Jazz, it's been all hustle. Just a once-in-a-season shooting performance we're seeing from them. They're wearing out the twine. There's been some great work by C.J. Miles in this one. He's given them a huge contribution off the bench. What a bonus when you have a role player step up like this. These two have been the stars so far today, both leading their teams in scoring. And that's it for now. Let's head on back out to the third quarter. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Here's Harris. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Hey, Kevin. Well, Grant Hill, now 39 years of age and still playing great. He said, I've talked to former players, and the one thing they all say is, once it's over, it's over. There's no going back once you walk away. Before you turn that page, make sure you've given it your all, played all you want to play. And for me, that time hasn't come yet. I'm not even close. My legs feel good. I still enjoy what I'm doing, and my enthusiasm is up there. I'd like to be playing when I'm 40. And as well as he's been able to play, there's little doubt he can do it.
And Doris, what a remarkable story.
Yeah, an amazing comeback for Grant Hill. Remember, the ankle surgeries almost robbed him of his entire career. As it was, he missed several seasons, but boy, he's making up for it now.
Puts the move on, and Jefferson with a nice bucket inside. Jefferson's got 8 points. Suns lead by 3.
It's really weird, guys, to not see the Jazz in the postseason as they have found their way in so consistently over the last 20 years, really, guys.
All right. Fry dishes to Nash. 4 on the clock. Here's Dudley. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Dudley's got 4 this quarter. And Clark, back to the Jazz. They came close, but too much upheaval, Steve, I think, on that roster. Kind of sunk this season.
Yeah, I agree. And they're in a rebuilding mode now, but you can't count the Jazz out of the playoff picture for long. Not with their history. They have been one of the strongest franchises in the NBA.
Boy, I like the fluidity I'm seeing from them on offense. It's a thing of beauty. Fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. They're moving the ball well, finding the open man, making that extra pass. They're playing very unselfishly right now.
And the Suns call time.
Well, the Suns missed the playoffs a year ago, and there's a lot of speculation about whether they will begin a rebuilding process. Steve Nash obviously getting up there in years. So the question for Phoenix, do they trade him? Do they keep him? Do they still try to build around him? One thing's for sure, they need an infusion of young talent.
Josh Childress, he's checked in for Phoenix. Here is Dudley. Kicks it to Nash. Dishes to Dudley. And there's the feed to Fry. Jefferson picks him up. And it's Phoenix scoring again. Here is Harris. Outside Millsap. He feeds it to Kirilenko. Deflected. It's stolen by Childress.
Great job defending.
Check it out here again with the Sprite Slam King.
Well, he's got enough hang time there to put a little something extra on that one. 2 scoops of ice cream after that.
Well, that's a play that's going to be remembered from this game, that's for sure.
I think that was more like a banana split, Clark.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz.
Well, the Western Conference just proved to be too much for the Jazz to handle effectively last season.
And making a change here, the Jazz. Favors is checked in. Here's Harris. Clark going back to the Jazz in the West. Losing an elite guard like Williams did not help. Now, Stevie's going to make a difference for New Jersey, but I think that's going to be a huge void for Utah. What do you think?
No question. This league is all about point guards, Kevin. And to try to win in the Western Conference against guys like Steve Nash and Chris Paul, it's going to be tough for the Jazz. In fact, 31 of their 43 losses last year came against Western Conference foes.
They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Yeah.
Steve, you like groove, don't you?
I do. I love groove, Kevin, and I love the attack mode this team is in, too. I mean, they're really getting into the paint. They're getting whatever they want offensively.
1:29 left in the third. Bell passes to Harris. He kicks it to Bell. The dish to Kirilenko. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. That's good.
Yeah, we're now starting to see them get some high percentage shots in the paint.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 buckets inside the lane, so they're getting really high percentage looks down there.
For the Jazz, Al Jefferson is checked in for Kirilenko. And it's C.J. Miles in for Raja Bell.
Devin Harris, Kevin, was an all-star with the Nets back in 2009, but injuries have held him back recently. He played 71 games last season, and that was the most he'd played in 4 seasons.
That's good from Harris. And going back to Devin Harris, Clark, considered a scoring point guard, which is often kind of a backhanded compliment. He did set a career high in assists last year, Steve. Over 7 a game.
Yeah, and you know, when he was in New Jersey, he really didn't have a whole lot of help offensively. So we'll see how he can develop in Utah. They've always played a pretty specific system that involves everybody. And I think Devin Harris will have a chance to really blend in well there with the Jazz.
Back to Millsap. Harris up top. And stolen by Nash. Suns lead by 8. And there's Grant Hill on the assist by Carter.
Tell you what, they just cannot miss out there.
And the defense looks shell-shocked. I mean, they've been powerless to slow him down. No effect at all.
Utah calls timeout.
They don't seem to have any answers for him. They need to review their game plan and look for a way to cool him off.
Here's Harris. 7 points in the game. 6-second difference between the shot and game clock. And stolen by Nash.
So a couple of poor possessions now in a row. Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe that finish? Boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average typical dunk.
There's 14 seconds left here in the third quarter. Nash against Harris. Can they get it? So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. That's called on Channing Frye.
Take it away.
The first free throw is good. Both teams deciding to change it up. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. Here is Carter. That will count. The shot no good. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. You have to like what we're seeing from Channing Frye.
Normally, he's not the guy at the top of the list who you think of when it comes to scoring, but he's had a great game here.
Yeah, you know what? He's kind of like found money, you know, when you sometimes stumble upon a few bucks in your pocket, you don't know where it came from, but you're glad to have it.
Back soon here in Utah. Fourth quarter getting going here. It's time for our Sprite Spark of the Game report. Let's go to Doris Burke.
Hey guys, well it was the stretch by the Suns that garners the Sprite Spark today. It's been one-way traffic through the first 3 quarters of this game, and the lead could continue to grow in the fourth as they've shown no signs of letting up.
Thank you, Doris. They made a statement with that big run, Clark.
They sure did. I mean, actually, this team has what I like to call spurtability.
Clark, that's becoming one of our trademarks right there.
Without question.
We're all over it.
One of the great basketball words out there.
And Clark, I think the defense was sort of shell-shocked by that spurtability. They were reeling.
Bell's shot is good. Bell's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Jazz. Here's Brooks. He's covered by Watson. Backing down. And that one's good. Brooks. And the Suns lead by 10.
Tell you what, it has been all offense all game long.
You know what? This is really fun to watch, guys. I mean, as a coach, though, this is when you want to just harness this energy and bottle it up and ride it all the way.
And Bell kicks to Jefferson. 6 to shoot. Fade away. That's good.
And now 6 of their last 10 points from mid-range.
Yeah, jump shot really serving these guys pretty well.
Suns lead by 8. And the Suns call time. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Guys, over that last break, I listened in on Alvin Gentry's huddle. He laid one thing out there for them, saying, now is the time to eliminate any chance of a mistake. We've got a good lead. Don't take any unnecessary risks or commit a silly foul. Smart basketball from here on out.
Here is Carter. He passed to Brooks. Orton with the ball. Back to Brooks. Up with it. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. They get Derek Favors.
Great awareness by fouling on that layup. Make him earn 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, send him to the line instead of giving up an easy 2.
First free throw is good. The Suns making a switch here. Childers is checked in. Good on both. Here is Watson. A decent amount of time left as they try to find a way back into it.
Not time to panic yet, guys.
Steve?
Well, it will be soon if they don't cut into this lead quickly.
Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Here's Miles. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
They continue to pull down misses, and that's how they're maintaining this lead.
Yeah, well, one and done is the recipe for continuing to hold on to a lead. You don't want to let the other team back in it by giving them extra possession.
Clock at 6. Brooks dishes to Childress. Carter with the 3. And it's Kurylenko with the rebound. And so here is Utah. It's a 10-point game. Miles the pass to Watson. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Here's Bell. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist. Watson's got 3 assists now in this one. Here is Carter. Carter left side. That's good.
You know, he's not going to make a mistake when he gets in tight. That's a good hoop there.
Here is Watson. And the Jazz call time here.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan.
So Utah ends up going with the new group. Some changes for Phoenix. Here's Harris. Jefferson throws it down home.
With that one, boy, they got the crowd buzzing there.
A pretty perfect play all around.
What a fantastic dunk to finish it off, too.
Here's Nash. Guys, a good chance for them to slow it down.
Yeah, I agree. Got to use some clock here.
And the Suns call time here. And the Jazz with some changes. Kirilenko comes in for Jeremy Evans. And it's Bell in for Gordon Hayward. Gortat's checked in for the Suns. Here is Dudley. Pass to Nash. They're moving the ball. Backing down is Gortat. Jefferson is tagged with the reach. That is his first foul of the game. Here is Dudley. Outside Hill. He dishes it to Nash. 5 to shoot. Shot on the wing. Hill, no good.
No, not a bad effort there.
He'll usually knock that one down.
And Fry kicks to Dudley. Passes it to Hill. And the layup falls.
Boy, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
Yeah, and the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
Utah calls timeout. They're trailing by 10. A minute 20 left in the game. Here's Millsap. Feeds it to Jefferson. Back to Harris. Kicks to Kirilenko. Raja Bell on the wing. He's guarded by Dudley. And stolen by Fry.
That steal is just another highlight in what's been a dominant performance at both ends.
No good. Good work defensively by Millsap. Now Harris. Jefferson. Gortat covering. Baseline jumper. And Jefferson gets it to go.
See the way he attacked the smaller defender there?
That's what I call know-how. He knows how to use his size.
And here we go with Steve Nash. Shot clock at 6. High post try. Drained for 2 points. And the Suns lead by 10.
Yeah, that's going to do it. I mean, this thing is pretty much over. They played well.
Well, it has been a bit anticlimactic the end of the game, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Utah calls timeout. They trail by 10. 20 seconds left in the fourth. Guys, your thoughts?
This one has pretty much been put out of reach, but they're not giving up.
You know what? I'm not sure. I think at some point you've got to concede and save your energy.
Seconds left in the fourth quarter. Three-pointer, Bell. And the rebound goes to Nash. Dudley dishes to Nash. So it's the Suns winning easily here. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play, they showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Britt, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Steve Nash.